Broadcast of our Supersized Kids is made possible with the support of viewers like you, the friends of KSBS, and by Sacred Heart Children's Hospital.
Is thin going extinct? Nearly a third of our children are overweight or obese, and the numbers continue to rise. Childhood obesity is a serious epidemic. We're at risk of raising supersized kids who may live sicker and die younger than the generation before them.
Because at younger and younger ages, we're starting to see children with significant medical complications related to being obese. Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, elevated cholesterol. These are illnesses that we hadn't seen under age 20 before.
With so many of us being overweight these days, sometimes being fat looks, well, normal. But it's not, and it's dangerous. An overweight child usually grows up to be an obese adult.
We're in the midst of an epidemic of obesity in this country between fast foods and greasy foods and sugary drinks.
If we don't change what we do, we will be a society of obese people. I don't think anybody wants that.
It's very scary and it's very real. That's why we need to do something about it now.
Is it baby fat or what? How do you know if your child is a healthy weight? This is the Cordero family. 10-year-old Elijah has always been a big boy.
I had always thought he was bigger, but I didn't really think that there was a problem.
We didn't have much food growing up. I figured if they had a full belly, they'd be happy, you know?
I guess I always thought he was big-boned. I just thought, you know, he's eating every meal. It's good.
Here's his growth chart. Let's see how his
A doctor's visit told a different story. Elijah's body mass index, or BMI, showed his weight was growing faster than his height. A BMI is a simple height-to-weight ratio that provides a useful snapshot of whether a child is overweight for his or her age.
I was shocked. I guess I just didn't realize, you know, what we were doing to him.
A BMI above the 85 percentile indicates a child is overweight. It means the child weighs more than 85% of their peers. Above 95% means the child is obese.
The borderline diabetes is what scared me the most. And I just thought, you know, I don't want him to have to give himself shots every day and watch what he eats every, you know, I mean, you can't go back.
Can't fix it.
The Corderos are not alone. Most parents don't realize their child is overweight or how serious it is. Sometimes the chubby kid may not stand out in our overweight society.
And it's kind of hard to accept that more than half the people that we meet every day are either overweight or obese.
Many parents think their child will grow into the extra weight. Sometimes that's true, but 75% of the time it is not. 2 out of 3 overweight 10-year-olds will grow up to be obese adults.
I think in the past, a lot of people used to think, oh, they'll just grow out of it. But what we're seeing now is that kids don't grow out of it. They become obese adolescents, they become obese young adults, they become obese adults.
What we need to realize is that it didn't happen in 1, 2, 3, or even 5 years. It started when the kids were 2, 3, a year old. And that's the urgency.
Did you know small changes can make a big difference in your health?
We used to eat out all the time. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Oh, hey, let's go get ice cream, you know?
Got rid of the pop. That was the first
Pop
thing.
was the main thing.
We would case a pop a day easy.
Eating out, the McDonald's every morning, 3 sausage McMuffins on his way to school.
5. He'd eat 5 easy.
I used to just be happy that they ate breakfast. I wouldn't care what they ate for breakfast as long as it was a breakfast. So a plate of nachos was perfectly acceptable as long as he was eating.
Come home after school and grab some chips and a pop, sit down and watch TV on the couch.
So I brought 5 pounds of fat and I want everybody to touch it, to look at it. I'm gonna pass it around the table.
Those days are long gone. The countdown for healthy living classes were a real eye-opener.
That's when I got more scared about what we were eating. I saw the junk.
I went home that night after the first group meeting and I cleared my whole kitchen out. By the time we were done, we had 2 garbage bags full.
So this one is a hamburger. It's 410 calories.
I find most of it is people are just not educated in how to be healthy, that they haven't had the information on how to provide a healthy lifestyle for themselves or for families.
Keeping a food journal is a great way to get started.
Once you started seeing though on paper and written down what you were doing and feeding them, it started kicking in.
They would have us journal plus measure out all the food intake that he was eating down to
calories
and
portions.
Ounces on the peanut butter that you put on the sandwich and the slice of bread. And once you start writing it all down, it's just amazing how much you're putting in your mouth.
It taught us a lot. We didn't even know we were doing, not just to him, to ourselves, you know.
Food gives our body the energy it needs to do the activities we love. To maintain a healthy weight, we need to balance the amount of energy or calories we take in the form of food with energy we use by being active. Unfortunately, most of us suffer from portion distortion. We're just eating way too much.
And big portions, especially once we start seeing how big the portions really are supposed to be. I was times them by 6, easy.
Big portions.
Food portion sizes have really grown over the last 20 years, and not just in restaurants, at home too. Many times our plate arrives with enough food on it for 2 or even 3 people. Hamburgers have expanded by 23%. A plate of Mexican food is 27% bigger. Soft drinks have increased in size by 52%. Snacks are 60% larger. So it's not surprising that our kids are getting larger too. Studies show if it is there, we eat it, whether we're full or not. So what is a normal portion size anyway? A portion size for meat, chicken, or fish is roughly the size of a deck of cards. For potatoes, rice, or pasta, it's roughly the size of the palm of your hand or 1 cup. Vegetables, however, are pretty much all you can eat. But it's not only that we eat too much, it's what we're eating.
And they had all these different displays.
Just the fat content in the meat and the sugar and sodas and
how much oil was in each snack.
And you can see it and feel it. You could touch it and want to wring our bodies out.
Today, 23% of our grocery dollars goes towards processed packaged foods. That has more than doubled in the last 20 years. It's fast, easy, and inexpensive, but it comes at a price. Most processed packaged foods are full of added sugars, fats, and salt.
It was so scary, really scary. I was like, oh my God, I'm feeding my kids that?
But equally troubling is what has been removed from our food. Processed foods are often stripped of nutrients and fiber designed by nature to protect your body and keep you healthy.
13. Okay, there was 13 teaspoons in this bottle.
What kids are drinking is also part of the problem. Most kids consume over 100 pounds of sugar a year, much of it in sugary drinks and soda.
An enormous amount of sugar.
Yeah, and they show it in granulated, so you actually can see how much sugar you're putting in your body.
Our bodies need to move, run, jump, bend, and play at least 60 minutes every day.
When we were kids, we used to play, kick the can, that sort of thing. We learned that from other people in our neighborhood. These days, a lot of electronic gadgetry goes on. Kids don't play as much as they used to.
Mounting research shows that the amount of time a child spends watching TV and using other media is linked to their body weight. Too much screen time translates into less exercise time and bigger waistlines. Studies show that kids with TVs in their bedrooms are twice as likely to be obese. Plus, the American Academy of Pediatrics recently reported that our children watch too much TV, don't get enough exercise, see too many junk food ads, and don't get enough sleep. It's no wonder our kids are overweight. Moving more as a family is key. But it's not necessarily about getting a health club membership or joining a sports team.
We focused on physical activity as a family. So whether that meant walking in the park or doing jazzercise in your home, what we wanted was the family as a unit to just move more.
We discovered that it was important to have the parents involved. We didn't for the first session. The parents didn't do the physical activity with us, and we discovered that if we re-taught them how to play, allowed them to be silly with their kids, allowed the kids to see the parents being silly and know that they could do that and would do that, that seemed to break down a lot of barriers and get them more active in the time that they weren't here with us.
Role modeling is key. As a parent, you have to be willing to participate and model the behavior that you want your child to pick up.